Welcome to the Nerd Enthusiast Gaming Podcast, where today we're going to be discussing multiple topics, including conventions. Wes and I have both been to a video game convention this year, so we're going to be talking about our experiences there. We're going to be discussing some tips for you guys to use when you go to conventions. We're going to be talking about our pickups towards the end of the video, as well as a pulse check, which is what we do every month, which is basically us just looking at a snapshot of some retro video game prices. With me, as always, is my good friend Wes. Wes, how you doing, sir?
What's up, my friend? I'm good. I'm excited to talk about the conventions and show what we picked up.
Heck yeah, man. I have no idea what you bought. I don't know if you have any idea what I bought. I have no idea.
I, no, I have no idea, so I'm going to be surprised.
Heck yeah. Um, Before we get started, just a couple bits of housekeeping. Please consider following us over on, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all those things. It's at Nerd Enthusiast. You can follow the company on all social media platforms. You can actually support us over on Patreon. That would help us out quite a bit. You can support us for as little as $1 a month if you like what you hear today, and you guys can get early ad-free content as well as exclusive content over on Patreon.com/Nerd Enthusiast. All right, Wes. Let's do it, man. Let's talk about conventions. So you went to Too Many Games, which is on the East Coast. I went to
Hmm.
SoCal Gaming Expo on the
Yep.
West Coast. Tell me, how was you just got back? What, a week ago? Maybe 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. Yeah. About maybe two weeks tops.
Cool. So this was I want to hear your story first because this was. I've been to video game conventions. You've been to many conventions, but never a video game convention.
Correct. I go to Comic Cons like multiple times a year, but this was my very first video game convention. All video games. It was cool. I really had a good time. I really had a good time.
Yeah, if you guys haven't been before, Too Many Games is I believe it's the second largest video game convention in the United States for that's kind of retro focused. Portland Retro Gaming Expo is certainly the largest, which I have never been to, but I would love to go to one day. Just tell me what are some of the things that you saw there? What are some of the things that you did? How did you like it?
I loved it. I loved it. I mean, being that I go to a lot of Comic Cons, I knew what to expect in the convention atmosphere, but just to go in and see all the video games, all the different vendors was great, man. I was like a kid in a candy store. Oh man, I was like, oh man, look at this. Oh look at this. Oh look at this. Oh, I've been looking for this, and that was a good feeling. That was a good feeling. I was with some friends, but it's the convention itself was really cool. Before they let you in, there's like a big lobby, and they were showing retro cartoons based on video games. They were showing Captain N.
Nice.
Uh, they were showing the the Super Mario Brothers Super Show with Captain Lou Albano when he was doing Mario.
Classic.
Uh, they showed episodes of Zelda, so it was just they were getting everybody in the mood. It was all video game related. It was great, and you go in giant room full of vendors and games and game related stuff. They had rock band competitions, which was
Nice.
awesome. Which was awesome.
I would have
Uh,
been all over that.
they had their own arcade setup, like retro arcade, which was
Yes.
amazing, amazing.
That's always one of my highlights, man. Is seeing what old school games they have there that are available for people just to. I don't know if it's the same out there, but in SoCal they were all just set free to play. You just walk up and play
Yeah,
whatever.
just walked up and played. Just walked up and played. And they had a good number. They had about 50, 60 games set up, and then they
Nice.
had the giant like DDR set
Oh,
up.
sick.
People were getting their groove on. They had game stations, like they had a Sega Zone, which they had multiple Sega machines, Genesis, Dreamcast, Master System set up with multiple TVs. And then they had like the retro one, which had ColecoVision, Atari, Intellivision. You name it, they had it. They had the Nintendo one, which was NES, Super Nintendo, 64. And so they had a GameCube, and then multiple TVs, all their systems. It was such a good time, bro. It was such a good time.
Oh yeah, that the similar stuff was out here. We had an arcade. We had the retro gaming area with like CRTs, like a whole
Hmm. Yep.
probably like half of a room was filled up with CRTs and old school stuff. I always love seeing the oddball stuff in there too. You walk by like, oh, there's a 3DO. How about that? That's awesome. Or something like a Neo Geo. Like, when am I ever going to play a Neo Geo? I'm not spending a lot of money on a Neo Geo, but a lot of those cons have them there.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I did a video, a walkthrough video. So you guys can check it out. It's on our channel. Um, my vlog on Too Many Games, and it was so much fun. I can't express enough how much fun I had. I spent too much money, but it was worth it. It was, and I could have spent a whole lot more. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that's the hard part is controlling yourself when you're there. It's like, I can't do this.
Yeah. At Too Many Games, and it's funny because Too Many Games has been around for a while, uh, and it gets bigger and bigger every year. They say it's one of the largest on the East Coast. You said it's like one of the largest in America, and I can see why. It's very, very popular. And like I said, for years, I've always heard about Too Many Games, but I always thought it was more geared towards like tabletop and board games and
Gotcha.
not necessarily video games. So I kind of dismissed it until a couple years ago. I was like, I kept hearing more about it, and they was like, no, it's actually video games. I was like, oh, really? I got to get there. I got to get there.
Some conventions have really started opening it up to board games and stuff. Were there any board games and stuff that you saw there?
There were they had like a section dedicated to tabletop,
That's cool.
but the main room was video game vendors.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's pretty standard. So you got a big room of video game vendors. We got some arcade machines. This
Hmm.
was also similar to SoCal. One thing that SoCal had, which I'm sure you guys probably did too, is there was a section for tournaments. In SoCal, they had like a big stage, and they did like a Tetris tournament. I think the guy who
Hmm.
um, programmed the original Tetris cart was like there and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Um, did you guys have like tournaments and stuff there as well? I'm assuming probably yes.
Oh yeah, there were definitely tournaments. My friends were egging me on. They were like, come out of retirement. I was like, I can't. I was like, I'm too rusty. I'm too slow. My reflexes aren't there like they used to be.
Yeah, those kids will murder you, man. I'm not,
Man,
I'm not trying to say you're bad or anything, but I don't want to play against a 20-year-old in anything, Wes. There's no way.
no way, no way. I mean, I can hold my own against a computer, but no, I'm not there anymore.
Yeah, me neither. All
Let
right,
me
cool. So
play.
you're
Let me play another 60-year-old dude, then I'll be good.
there. You go. Right. Get the odds a little bit more even. All right, so we got some vendors. We got that. Is there anything else of note that you saw there?
Oh man, what else did I see? That was just a lot. A lot of video game merchandise, which was
Yeah.
really really cool. Really cool. I bought some like magnets. Like they had, like in the old retro arcades, they had the light up marquee, which had the title of the other of the. So they had those like lit up in like boxes, which was awesome.
Nice.
And then the vendor made small magnets out of this, with the same marquees on them. So I bought a
Oh,
bunch of
cool.
those just because I remembered, as everybody knows, I was an arcade kid, so I remember a lot of the games that he had marquees for. So I kind of got all like sentimental and nostalgic, and I was like, give me a bunch of them.
So
So
these are like reproductions. They're not like original marquees, though, right?
correct, they're all
Okay.
reproductions.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
there was that. There was a lot of like Pokemon merchandise.
Oh
Like,
yeah, dude, man. There's a
yeah,
lot of Pokemon stuff.
yeah. But I tell you what, though, if you was looking for those hard to find systems, that's the place to get it.
Oh yeah, you see some rare stuff there, man. Like all sorts of wild things. It's
Mhm.
awesome because you don't even if you have like local retro game stores, it's random that you're going to see something like that's unusual or rare in their store. It does happen from time to time, but you go
Mhm.
to a convention, it's like, dude, you're going to see some stuff you haven't seen in a while.
No, I've seen multiple Turbo Expresses, the TurboGrafx 16 Express. I saw a few vendors showcasing the Atari Jaguar CD
Hmm.
player. I was like, wow, okay. There was a few vendors that had actual Vectrex machines.
Hell yeah.
You know, it was really cool because one of the vendors there, I have a love hate relationship with because you turned me on to them and I spent so much money with them. But Limited Run Games was there. They had a booth, and I went up to the guy and I'm like, I hate you guys, but I love you at the same time. Yes, because they were there. Had some of the stuff that you couldn't pre-order anymore.
Yeah, you got to get lucky and get it because they have some extras.
They had some extras for sale. It was that was cool. Um, yeah, man. As a whole, it was great. Great times. Really good times.